On the status of the Hampstead Bypass project, you may have been stuck in this traffic mess Monday afternoon on Highway 17. It was a mess, too. A garbage truck hit a power line, which led to power outages and lanes shut down for hours. We still don't know what caused the crash, but drivers didn't have much of a detour route. WECT's Marquis Emmerson is at the scene where it happened across the street from the Go Gas on 17. Marquis, has everything returned back to normal?
Fran, traffic here has definitely subsided in the wake of yesterday afternoon's gridlock. But the threat of another traffic jam on this road is always a possibility, and drivers say they're ready for a change.
Warmer temperatures, no rain, all the more reason to take advantage of the sunshine and enjoy some time outside. Maybe go for a walk on the beach.
Yeah, just don't ride your bike if you're going to Wrightsville Beach anyway. WECT's Marquis Emmerson found out why. Marquis, what's the issue?
John and Fran, well, for one, it's not exactly allowed, but the rules are rarely enforced. That could change with tourist season coming up.
We're continuing our coverage tonight on the cleanup that follows the deadly tornado that touched down last month in southern Brunswick County. State crews are now involved in the debris removal process. WECT's Marquis Emmerson is live from one of the hardest hit areas. So what do things look like there now, Marquis, after some work has actually gotten done?
John, a few weeks ago, Ocean Ridge Plantation was simply a disaster. And while the recovery here still has a ways to go, it is progressing.
Thousands of people are waiting to get a COVID-19 vaccine. Others are not so sure that getting a shot is in their best interest. That is particularly true in the African-American community, and we've covered that issue extensively. WECT's Marquis Emmerson heard some concerns from people still holding out on getting a vaccine. What did they say to you today, Marquis?
Yeah, John, whether it was people getting their hair cut or those cutting hair, distrust in the vaccine was a common theme among those I talked to. Barbicide, an apron, clippers, a typical trip to get a haircut for some people, but in the black community, it's so much more. Joe Hardy feels like he can literally let his hair down when he goes to the barbershop.
Like, honestly, where can you go and talk about any and everything from your culture to current events to how your day was going, you know? So I think it's a very important pillar of the community, especially the black community.
Right now, a lot of the talk centers around the COVID-19 pandemic, and a hot topic at the moment, whether to get a vaccine. Darren Davis manages City Cuts in downtown Wilmington, and he has his own reservations about the vaccine.
It came out entirely too fast for me because they didn't have time to do any research on it. And I'm very particular about what I put in my body.
Linda Thompson is the county's chief diversity and equity officer. She's heard those concerns before and understands the hesitancy towards the vaccine.
There have been nightmarish stories. You've got the historical nightmares that we've heard about, the Tuskegee experiment, and so many other things.
But Thompson wants others to look to the future and says it's imperative to get vaccinated because of how hard the coronavirus has hit the black community.
I have had personal close friends to die of COVID. I've seen more of my friends and colleagues die of this disease than I have ever experienced anything like this in my life.
The hope is people will continue to talk about the issue, to trim down the fears and have a fresh look on the vaccine, but there's still work to do.
You know, personally, I'm not going to take it as of yet. I'd rather do my research and, you know, be more in depth about it.
And John, despite those cases of hesitancy, people like Ms. Thompson are going out into the community to give people the information that they need to make informed decisions about this vaccine.
Tonight, flooding fears are all too real for families across southeastern North Carolina. Look at some of the flooding today in Pender County communities. Emergency management officials are asking everyone to avoid flooded roads. There are just too many to name here on the air, but you can get the full list right now in the WECT News app and WECT.com. One entire neighborhood is threatened by flooding in a part of Brunswick County. WECT's Marquis Emmerson saw that situation in person today. What does it look like, Marquis?
Yeah, John, a woman reached out directly to the WECT newsroom asking for help regarding the issues her home and community have been facing due to persistent flooding. Now, I took a trip down to Supply in Brunswick County to investigate. Cars just feet away from being submerged. Potholes turned into mini ponds. Children's playsets planted in muddy water. And street poles resembling anchored buoys. Mother Nature has turned this subdivision in supply into a swamp-like landscape. Crystal Wonder is a mother who lives in the community and says her frustration overflows on days like this.
This happens every single time it rains. It's, you know, if there's a little bit of rain for a day, we're okay, but anything more than a day of rain, the whole road gets completely washed out.
Wonder says she and her neighbors have reached out to those who manage the community and Brunswick County officials, but haven't gotten much luck.
I've been told it's public, there's nothing they can do, but then I've also been told that it's a subdivision, we have no rights to do certain things.
She's not the only one dealing with high water today. Schools across the region were on delay or closed because of high water. And these pictures from Bolivia and Atkinson show the seemingly endless rain that has posed problems for plenty of people. But the widespread impact of this recent rainfall does little to dampen the anxiety Wonder feels. With each new downpour, she fears the worst and hopes the problems dry up before something bad happens.
God forbid somebody drowns, whether if there's an emergency, we can't get no medical attention through here. If there's a fire, we can't get them people through here.
Crystal also told me that school buses can no longer pick up the children in the neighborhood due to the poor conditions of the roads. We also reached out to Brunswick County Emergency Services to comment on those flooding issues, but did not hear back. John?
All right, Marquis, let's hope things improve for that community down there in Brunswick County.